Hello everyone! Welcome to Awesomebility On Air. Boleh tak over hari ni? This is episode number 6, right? We are already on
Yes.
episode number 6. It is the awesome. It is the awesome. My name is Nini Chong and I am the founder of Ministry of Marketing.Asia. Awesomebility as a brand is actually a collaboration between Ministry of Marketing.Asia as well as Popcorn. So I have the founder of Popcorn with me here today. Always Yandaro Al Amin, and I also have one of my business partner here, Adelina, who is the Chief Creative Officer of Ministry of Marketing.Asia. So thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you feel that Awesomebility on Air have contributed value to your learning, right? Because it definitely did contribute a lot of learning to mine. Do share this live stream because I think that that is the reason why we got together in the first place, because we would like to learn more about personal branding, digital presence, authority building, and that is why we have a special guest today. I say special because I think if you know me, you also know my other partner in life, my partner at home. His name is Carliff Rizal. But before we pass on the mic over to Carliff Rizal, would like to pass it over to Amin. Over to you, Amin.
Hey, welcome, guys. Give us some love. Give us some like in the comment, right? The more love and the more like we have, the more exciting the session is going to be. Hi, guys. Today is going to be super exciting because we are going to be talking about chatting. We're going to learn on how to chat. That's what we're going to be doing today, right? It's going to be very interesting today because personally for me, I'm one of those people who actually really spend a lot of time actually doing a lot of cold calling messaging and also warm messaging, either via LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook. Okay, so I go to all of these three channels, right? So I'm actually looking forward to today's session because I want to spend today's session to also learn from the master himself. Because Carliff, who is the CEO of YesHello, is the guy that you want to spend time with when it comes to learning more about how to utilize messaging as a way for you to be able to not only build your personal brand, but also to get sales as well. Because I think it's something that's really interesting to learn, right? Because for me, at the end of the day, either you do authority building, you do personal branding. As an entrepreneur, I want to make sure that I get results from my business. So the results will come in from sales, isn't it? Right? And we want to learn more about today's session, especially is about how can we actually utilize platform like WhatsApp, for example, as a way for us to actually build our business. That's one of the things that we're going to be doing today, right? So yeah, I'm excited today, and I'm gonna pass the baton to Adelina to do like a quick introduction of herself. Adelina, let's do this.
Okay. What? They still don't know me? No, just kidding. All right. Hi, guys. So, Nini mentioned I am the Chief Creative Officer for Ministry of Marketing.Asia. My background is more on branding visuals, and branding strategy and training. So that is me. And today it's very exciting. We'll be seeing how messaging is crucial when we are building our personal brand. So we talk about personal brand. It's not just about how we look, but also we mentioned in previous episodes it's about relationships with our audience. So today we'll be focusing on communication and that relationship with our audience. And like Amin said, how we can foster that relationship and convert those people into sales, which is why we're in business. We want to convert people, right? So I'm passing the baton back to Amin.
Okay, so what we're going to do right now is going to give like Carliff an opportunity to introduce himself, right? So I'm passing the baton to Carliff. Carliff, why are you here today?
Nice one. Thanks,
Make a relay
Amin.
lah today.
Yeah, we should have an actual baton and then like pretend you pass it over and then I hold it here. That'd be kind of cool, right? So whenever yeah. But then we have the same kind of baton. Then, here, pass it over, and then suddenly you see me picking it up. Anyways, so thanks Amin, thanks Adelina, thanks Nini Chong, my sayang, Lini has been trying to get me on her show for a while already. So I think a quick intro is, yes, my name is Carliff Rizal. I am the founder and CEO at YesHello. So YesHello, at YesHello, so we are messaging experts. So we help SMEs to streamline their customer service, their pre-sales, so anything that regards messaging, modern customer service, and modern sales is what we try to help with small businesses, right? So Nini and I have been in the small business punya realm, helping small businesses. I don't know, in what, 15 years now, Nini, right? And so we've been in the side of a small business getting coaching. We've been on the side of the training provider. We've been on the side of learning and getting coaching and giving coaching. So all the sides we've been. And what we realized was that when running the business ourselves, that all parts of the business seems to run nice and smooth. Partnership is fine. Lead generation is great, right? And then when somebody purchases, we can deliver the product nicely. But one part of the whole business, so let's say there's 10 components. One component is the hardest to streamline, which is messaging. There's we can go in why is that, why it's hard, right? But WhatsApping, Messenger, Instagram, LinkedIn, all this messaging, SMS, whatever, is so hard to pin down and to how do I say, to solidify when every other part is already nice and systemized, that it becomes a headache. And a lot of businesses, business owners will go like, Alah, it's okay lah, this one part I'll just hire somebody and let them sort it out, right? But there's no proper system. When they leave, something crazy happens. So what we do is we come in, we know that there's a problem. So YesHello is committed to help in that part, especially for business leaders and entrepreneurs.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it, right?
Right.
So, and today, I just now Amin was asking me, guys, right? Khalif, what question would you want me to ask? Right. So this is a setup from before, and I shared. I'm just gonna be upfront. I shared that I think rather than going into what we do and what is my product, I think is a better, more valuable conversation if we talk about what happens when we don't solve this problem. Right? We've solved all the other problems, product problem done, staffing problems done. What happens when we don't solve this modern customer service, modern customer engagement on messaging? What happens to the business? What happens to the owner? What happens to your family when you don't sort this out? And I tell you, it affects every part.
Khalif,
Shall-
you know what?
Yeah.
In the beginning, not in the beginning, during our prep just now, right? For people who are watching, yes, before we go on a live stream, we do prep, and this is like part of personal branding. I think just a little tips and insights. We go through prep, we speak to our guests, we get them warmed up and then get into alignment what we will be speaking about, and go ahead and go on the live stream. So during the call prep just now, you spoke about the relation of personal branding and also messaging. Why, right? Why is it? And you think that the better route of doing this so that our audience would understand this better is for you to define personal branding in relation to messaging, right? So how would you define personal branding?
Oh yeah, that's great. I think if we go down to it, since today's topic is about messaging and personal branding, how to make it better, blah blah blah. So let's define each part of it. So we've talked a little bit about messaging. So what's personal branding? So branding, what does it mean? So for me, branding is what is expected of you, or what is behind your back. What will people say about you? What is the thing that you're most consistent in doing? What are the things that if something happens, you can count on that person saying a certain thing? So it's an expectation that we build on purpose, right? So this is personal branding. Where you can look at it bigger, right? Extrapolate it bigger to your business or your company. Your business also has a brand, so you know that, oh, this brand is all about excellence, or that brand is they want to help creatives. That brand is slow, don't go there, right? That brand, they hate customers, right? Don't buy. So whatever your brand, whatever your company is, there is a brand. Either you do it on purpose, or you got your brand by accident, right? So that's the brand. So if you're talking about personal branding, if you're thinking about, okay, if I want to be known as a reliable person who is urgent, who can be count on, then you need to show that by your constant actions. But the challenge is, what if because of technology, because of circumstances, that you cannot show that, right? And that's where the breakdown is. So,
Mm.
so now that we know what branding is, and we kind of know what kind of brand that we want to show, portray, and maybe our business or us, fast, urgent, reliable, consistent, right? And that's the kind of person that you want to work with. That's the kind of business that you want to buy from. Consistent. Doesn't matter if it sucks. That's my thing. Doesn't matter if the product sucks, service sucks. McDonald's sucks, but it's super consistent and is one of the most best brands in the world, right? So consistency is key, but we cannot be consistent if we are at the mercy or victim of things outside of us. So I think today what I want to maybe touch a little bit on is, how can we how can we lower down the risk, or how can we set ourselves up technology wise, messaging wise, so that we are not a victim of that. And people say, oh, you always reply slow lah, oh, not reliable lah, right? And there are ways of doing it.
Okay. Okay. So, maybe I'm gonna take like one step back, Khalif,
Sure.
just because I think like just for the benefit of those who are like very new when it comes to messaging and all that, because I grew up in an era in the era of cold calling, right? Where
Me
in
too.
order for me to be able to get clients or to serve clients, everything is done by phone, right? So maybe what we want to do is that I just want to ask a simple question. We're going to start with that one first. Why do you think messaging is super important today, especially for entrepreneurs? Maybe we'll start with that.
Because yeah, I think that's a great question. I think because there is too much messaging out there already. It's very overwhelming. So when we go out, I don't know what is the study. There's a study. I think you get like 5,000 messaging trying to influence you every day, or something, that's something crazy like that, right?
Right.
So why is it important that our messaging is tepat? Is because there's a saying that Nini and I always hold on to last time in sales, is that a confused mind always says no, right? So if you want to sell anything, the first thing you gotta do is not to confuse somebody, right? So it's gotta be clear. I think that's the first part, basic, right? That's number one. Number two is, since there's so many things that's coming in, and then people are always on the move. People are very not enough time, right? So
Mm.
you want to get to the point as fast as with as little effort as possible, because our brain power wants to go on to the next thing. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is, when it comes to branding, right? So this is ties straight with branding. You have a certain thing in your mind that we want to portray, and that's in our mind. But then when we say it out loud, the thing in our mind and our words doesn't match, right?
Mm.
So if it doesn't match, then is the person that is listening getting the actual value that you want to say, that you want to give? No, they're not. They're getting maybe like 80%, 60% of what's in your brain, right? So
Mm.
that's where the messaging is super important. And messaging is one of those things that you got to do often. So that's why I think Nini and you guys do it weekly. I also do 2-3 times a week, just to talk about the same message, same message. Is so that we can refine our message so that it becomes tepat, right? I think to answer your question, yeah, for me, from the top of my mind, messaging is the key. And as a CEO, I don't do much other work except messaging. My
Mm.
key thing is that if people are confused about what I'm doing, about my product, I am the one who's responsible to make sure the messaging is tepat. And that takes a
Okay.
long time. 2 years, man. 2 years of doing every single week of webinar, talking about the same thing again and again and again. 2 years. Crazy. Just so that we can get the messaging right. And even that, the messaging is still not as tepat as I want. That I think in my brain, right?
Mm, mm. So yeah, I get it. So based on your own experience, right, when it comes to managing messaging for businesses, what are some of the top mistakes? If there's three top mistakes that you notice that entrepreneurs are doing, right, what would that be?
Number one would be outsourcing it. So the
Really?
biggest
Outsourcing is not the way
yeah,
to do it. Okay, tell me more.
no, man, that's the biggest mistake, right? So outsourcing messaging when you are first starting. So well, you gotta see it from a point of view of either building your own business or you come in and then the business is already running. So if business is already running and you come into Apple, you don't, of course you gotta outsource it because the messaging is already tepat. But if you're running a small business, which majority of my clients are, when I see them outsource messaging, so that means they come in like the thing's running 2-3 years already, and they say, "Hey, let's hire another marketing person. I want you to do the messaging." That's number one. They don't know what is in your brain. That's number one.
Mm,
And it is different when the CEO, the leader themselves, have been talking about the same message for 1, 2, 3 years. So that's number one. Number two about messaging is thinking about what's in it for me instead of what's in it for the people that we want to serve. So this is just another newbie mistake. Number three about messaging would be, you know what? No, I think it's just that main two. I would say, yeah, the focus and who's doing it. So yeah, you cannot run away from it. I think again, books that I've read, people, the coaches that I've sat down with, and my own personal experience in the, I don't know, Nini, how many businesses that we've started? 5, 6 businesses. That every single one that was successful, we created the messaging ourselves and we refined it ourselves. When we didn't have time and we like, okay, this is a hobby, get somebody else to do the messaging, it always doesn't. Doesn't. It's not effective.
Yeah,
right, right.
I mean, there's two definition of messaging here, right?
Mm,
The first definition of messaging that we are looking into to learn about today is the messaging, the chat, the messages that goes out on multiple different type of platforms, right?
yeah.
And the messaging that Carliff is talking about is what is the brand identity that you are communicating out, that when people see your logo, people know what you're about. When people see the founder, people know what kind of alignment between the founder's personal brand as well as the business, right?
Mm,
So I do agree with Khalif, right? That as you are starting your business, the messaging needs to get done by the founders itself. And I also understand, some of my coaches, they refuse to go to the front of the screen, or just to the front, right, to speak and all that. Although, right, there is a little caveat there. I think that, as the founder, when we first started, we do need to get the messaging consistent, and it must be done by the founder itself. And once it has already been solid, right, it's solid, people see your logo, people know what you're about already, that is where you are able to think about, or you now can think about how you can be more efficient, right? How you can have a structure, a process in place, so that your messaging, just your day is not about replying messages only. Okay? And that is the second definition of chat.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So I think we gotta pin down what the meaning, or the what each term means, right? So when I was talking
mm,
about messaging, I was talking about the words that you're saying, the things that
right.
the message itself, right? And then so that part of what to say, that messaging, that the inti pati, right? What is the jiwa of this message that you want to put out in the world needs to come from the founder. Yes. And then once you already have that pinned down after 1 or 2 years, and even that we have to do it on our own, right? What WhatsApp to send out, what text, what email, everything starts from me. And then once it's already tuned, that means I've done it. This thing converts exactly like how I want it, is communicated the way I want it. Then that becomes a template, right?
Mm.
So this is where then we create a process, right? So the challenge with so I think what I might have misunderstood. Maybe you're asking about the in chatting with somebody. I think that's
Yeah,
what you're asking. What are the challenges with
yeah, that's
chatting with
fine.
somebody, messaging, right? So what I was
Yeah,
thinking was in creating the message. So once you've already created the message, so that's the messaging. How do we take that and chat with people? So let's use the different there. Messaging is the message itself. Chatting is now we were chatting with somebody. So in chatting with somebody, first we need to get the messaging right. But then once we got already okay, which channel we want to go to, right? So a lot of small businesses they make the wrong move of looking at the big guys. They're like, oh man, that company, they are so big, they are so cool. I want to be just like them. Let's take a look at what channels are they chatting with their people. Now, that is the second mistake. Second mistake is looking at somebody or another company and then thinking that where they are and I should follow them, right? They are already at step 50. They've gone through and tested all the channels and then filtered out all the channels that doesn't work for them and chosen the 4 or 5 channels that is the best for them. If you
right,
come in and your team is 4 or 5 people and you want to use their 5 channels, you're gonna die, right? You don't have time, you don't have the money, you don't know how each channel behaves. So that's the first mistake, looking at that company and wanting to follow. That's number one. So wrong, the wrong tools is another one, right? So within the channels part is the wrong tools.
right.
If you want to play badminton, this is my analogy I always use. If you want to play badminton and you want to compete, can you compete with a tennis racket? You can play with a tennis racket. It looks like a badminton racket, but you cannot compete. Same thing with a small business, with any business. So the big mistake is thinking that okay lah, you come in, you use your own personal WhatsApp, you use your own personal Instagram or whatever, and then let's use that as a company system. Yes, it works for now, but after a while, like I said, a business is a set of systems and processes that you stack on top one another, kan? But if the first step, that means chatting with your customer is already wrong, using the wrong tools, step 20, step 30, what you see the big guys are doing, you cannot do. Suddenly you're
Mm.
stuck. You say, oh my God, why can they do that? Why is the automation is so awesome? How can they close conversion rate so powerful, right? How can they can do this campaign and I cannot? Because they set it up with the right tools in the beginning. So that's the other mistake. Let me show you another one. Another mistake is once you've already set up the right tools, suddenly you realize, hey, why is my team really hating to use the software or whatever tools? So a tool that is not being used is useless, right? So if you ask the best of the best teams in the world, your sales team, guys, do they have a game that they're playing? Yes, a daily game. Your marketing team, are they having a game that they're playing every day? Yes, open rate, click rate campaigns. Ask your customer support team, do they have a game they're playing? Zero, no game. No wonder they are bored. No wonder they are not efficient. No wonder they're not replying fast. So when it comes to chatting, I separate it into sales and customer support and service, right? So sales part is okay. The processes are nice. Customer support is no game. So what game can you play? You can play the game as inbox zero game. You can play who reply the fastest. But you need to have a game that you play every day and then
Mhm.
celebrate wins every day. And that will get people to be so motivated and reply so fast. You'll be so amazed that they're doing this on their own. So number one is the right tools, set up environment. Number two, get your team to play daily games so that they are every day know exactly what to do, playing and winning and self-motivated. Number three, that what I see is the challenge of when they're already replying fast, when they're already so gung-ho and every day winning, then they realize, alamak, I don't know everything. I need to ask some support, right? I want to ask the boss. Alamak, the boss takes a long time to reply to me. I want to ask my colleague, but I'm working from home. Oh, then it's going to take a long time. Then it becomes slow again. So the third mistake is team collaboration. So our new modern world, I don't know about your team lah, but my team is all virtual, right? I've got Silma in KK, Alta in Bali. I've got another one in Philippines. So we're a virtual team, and most companies are virtual. How do we get this new environment but still feel like last time, like you're in my next cubicle? How? That's another challenge, and people don't know how to do it. So team collaboration, you gotta make it so that if a team member needs help, they can get it easy, right? So you can use it. You can use an outside tool like Slack or whatever. But wouldn't it be better if where the tool that you're using already has all these things? So that's part. So these are the three things that we're trying to solve for our clients sebenarnya, right? So we have
Okay.
our team, our clients install this perfect tool. We already have gamification inside YesHello to play this inbox zero game and reporting. And then we have an internal company intranet. So imagine if you have a question, you can really just ask, hey, this person, Encik Ahmad, is asking this question. Boom, my team member in the other side of the world gets a notification, answer, and we're having a private chat to solve one problem. I know you cannot really see it, but I tell you, this is solving the this 80-20 rule, right? What is the 20% that you can do to get 80% of the results? This is it. Have the right tools for where you are as a business. Number two, get your team to be self-motivated. And number three, make it easy for them to share. Majority of the problems of chatting is solved, right? You can do it either on your own or you can do it with software.
Okay. So it sounds like what I noticed it sounds like the strategy works well when you have a team. So a question right now is, kalau I ni baru nak start business and just starting and all that, right? I don't have those team to do the settings, the chattings and all that. What would be your advice to me?
Yes. My advice is to hire a team member. There's no way out of it. If you want to grow as a company, then you want to set up your, how do I say, set up your life, set
Uh-huh.
up your processes to be conducive to a team, right? So for me, what I would do is Nini and I always, whenever we start a team, a company, the first hire is always a PA that will take away all those things that take away my time from my core things, right? Okay, so if answering chatting is not the best use of my time, or sending my kid to school, or picking up the laundry, whatever it may be, is taking away my time. Those are the things that I get the PA to do first. So I want to win back my time. So you want to take a look at in your day, where are you losing out your time to 5 ringgit an hour work? And answering messages is the main one, right? So
Yeah.
so once you got that done, so even if you're alone, fine. You tak hire lagi, fine. What I would do is I would track every day how much time do I take to answer all my messages. Let's say 2 hours a day.
Okay.
And in every single message too, I put in what are the most common questions people ask. Boom. And from these common questions, what are the most common answers that I have? Boom. A spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet. Pump, question, answer,
Right.
question, answer. This is called an FAQ, right? And that is the start of hiring somebody, because now you can just hire, hey, dude, you come in, your work is 2 hours a day. All you do is, this is my whatever phone, right? And this is the question and answer. Boom, you answer. That is simple and easy. Even better if you use a platform that is made for that. If you use YesHello, then you don't even have to give your phone. You keep your phone with you, but then you just give an access that they can see everything. So they can see everything, you can see everything and see what they're answering. And if they don't know how to answer, then they do use the intranet to ask, hey, I don't know how to answer this. What is the actual answer? Then you start, then he will put it inside the shortcuts. So that's how
Right.
you want to set up that first part. But this is simple. This is exactly like if you have um if you are that person wants to hire somebody else, same process. They will do what they do every day, document it, and then send that document to, okay, this is how you do it, right? Every single department, same process. But the challenge is, Carliff, what if I don't have the tools? Yeah, lah. If you don't have the right tools, then it's going to be very difficult. Lah. You're right. So that's why you want to take a look at, you need to have the right tools. So that
Right.
those things that you want to do, step 5, 6, 7, step 20 that you can do.
Mhm.
And that's what we're trying to solve.
I guess what I'll do here, right? I'll put some context and I'll share a little experience about what Carliff have just shared, right? For the benefit of our audience. So the context is that when Carliff say hire, if you don't have a team member, then you need to hire lah, right? Because Carliff and I came from the from the experience of when we first started our first business, right? We straight away hired a coach. Well, that is another thing that I really recommend, right? Hire a coach, right? Because you can never see how you make your swing in your business, just like how you make your swing while you're playing golf. Um, okay, so our coach for a very long time was Jivan Sahadevan, and I'm sure that if you are on LinkedIn, you would know him already if you're Malaysian, right? So one of the first things that he asked us to do is to calculate our break even, and then we had to calculate our value per hour. What is our 1 hour value, right? So every hour there is a value. So then it just makes sense for us to hire because I don't fill up forms, I don't do those things, that those little things. I need some help. Leverage in business is called leverage, right? So that is why we hire, because if you calculate your time, right, when you are doing, like Alif say, 5 ringgit work versus being in front of a client, making those calls, doing that clear messaging, what Khalif was talking about just now, that contributes to higher value into your business. Okay, so now I'm going to cerita a little of my story in relation to what Khalif have just shared. Right, I am email respond enemy number one. I think I have not tons, okay, almost 100,000 emails that I have not replied. Khalif used to have a snapshot of my iPhone yang that's saying that my emails were crazy. I'm better now. It's not more than 200,000. It's almost 100,000, right? But still, it's almost 100,000. So the thing is, right, I need to reply this email, I need to reply these messages, I need to communicate with people. And the thing about authority building is that if you are in your journey of personal branding, most connection only would reply to you, right? When they see another number, or if they see another person messaging them, normally they wouldn't respond to that message, or it takes a very long time. And I am also the founder of Momentum. I think Adelina could vouch for this. That is one of our biggest bottleneck in the business, that people are not responding to my team members. So what I did was I used YesHello. So I have my own YesHello, where I have my own dashboard. So if if I would like to communicate to my contacts, right, and it is not me who is doing it, I will curate the script. I will curate the messaging, and then someone will be sending it out from me. from mini work phone. So that is an example lah of because if it is up to me to my private number, those messages wouldn't get responded. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
I think that let's round it back down to what's the topic of the day, right? Topic of the day
Yeah.
is how messaging can make our personal branding better. So okay, so we know that personal branding is what we do consistently, and what's the biggest bottleneck? What Nini is saying just now is messaging today. Too much messaging from too many channels. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So I also talked about what's the main challenges when it starts with chatting and all those things is because we want to follow those big guys. So we want to see if you want to start off, yeah, I get it. You cannot hire so many people, but if you want to start off, if you're answering on your own, you want it to be consistent. So how to do that? Well, number one, you want to manage just one place. So if you have LinkedIn, Messenger, Instagrams, all those, it will be 10 times harder if you go in each messaging platform and answer. Too hard. So the easiest part is to get everything consolidated into one place. This is called omni-channel, right? So that will, I tell you, just that one thing, making sure all your messaging, everything online goes into one place so that you yourself can answer is already a huge game changer, even if you don't hire anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
So number one. And then I think once you've already answered there, once already you're used to answering over there in one login, then it becomes so much easier lah to transfer it to your PA ke, you want to hire somebody to do ke, your virtual assistant ke, right? So yeah, I get what you're saying. If there's too many, you want to consolidate into one place, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of platforms that does omni-channel do that one little thing, and then I think all the other things that I was mentioning just now is a little bit more advanced, right? So if you guys are just starting off a startup, yeah, that's one thing. But you want to think ahead lah.
Carliff, we cannot
Carliff,
hear you now.
you're muted. So on.
You're muted, Carliff.
The
Hear me?
excitement is real.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Something happened with the platform. I'm not too sure what.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we're talking about chatbots just now. Do you want me to take maybe
Yes.
2 minutes
Yes.
for
Yes. Yes.
chatbots?
Go
I
ahead.
mean,
Yes. Go
okay.
ahead. Talk about chatbot. Yeah.
So this is the thing with chatbots. I know you're talking platform. Khalif, last time you built chatbots, blah, blah, blah. What I realized building chatbots for 3 years is chatbots don't work. Because not because chatbots don't work, it's because the expectations of what you want the chatbot to do is just too high. Okay. Here's what usually people do with chatbots. I've got a problem. I cannot answer 24/7. I want a chatbot to answer for me. Then they come to me. Then they want me to build this chatbot AI and then to help answer. The chatbot doesn't know what to answer, right? And your business has specific things that the chatbot don't know. So it's backwards. You should, before building the chatbot, you should build the process first. It's like a cake, right? You have a cake business and you have a recipe for the cake, and then I say, "Alah, penatnya, I want to go and build this, bake a cake." So you go to somebody, I want you to bake a cake just like this, but you don't have the recipe. Of course, they cannot build it. They cannot bake it, right? So what you want is you want to give the recipe to somebody who's a pro, to the factory, and now the factory can build your cake based on how you're doing. But small businesses don't do that. Small businesses want that factory to build the cake based on their own recipe and then to make it taste exactly like how I want to taste. It's not going to work. That's why chatbots don't work. What we do is once you have a platform that you can answer properly, then your team come and answer for you. That means in every single channel, you know what works. You know what script works, you know when it works, you know how it works, boom. Then because you're already on the platform, imagine taking all that shortcuts, all that thing, and then telling the chatbot, okay, if somebody asks this question, you see that shortcut that already that person created, send this shortcut. Then it's the exact answer at the right time. So if you're a one person you want to build your own brand and you want to have chatbot, it is a mistake to build a chatbot first before you have the scripts all, how do I say, validated lah. Huh? It will be validated first. Yeah, so that's about chatbot. I mean, you're gonna ask me a question?
Yeah.
Just now?
I'm interested. Yes, I'm interested to know more about the attention that you can actually get through the messaging? Because you were saying just now that there's a lot of messages that comes in on a daily basis, right? So if we were to basically implement a system, and I want to promote my brand using the chat, um, how do I stand out from people compared to all the other messaging that's coming in? Is there like a secret to this? What do you notice that works, right? If you can give us some tips in terms of that.
Oh, this one a little bit advanced, but okay. So I think you're mentioning about sell by chat. I think
Yeah.
you wanna talk
Yes.
about that.
Yes.
Okay, so there's some principles about when it comes to sell by chat. So because now a lot more humans want to be sold on chat. So if you're a business, you want to know that people love to be sold on chat. But the biggest mistake of people selling on chat is thinking chat is like email. It's not. Chat is like chat. There's nothing else. Chat is uh, it's like short messages that you talk to your best friends or your family. Uh, there are times when okay, you want to have this long whatever message and you broadcast. Okay, but there's still email kind of way of doing it, right? You can't. You gotta make it number one super short, so that it feels like chat. It's got to be personal, so that means it's not, how do I say, it's not too official. Is that the word?
Mm.
It's not
Formal.
too formal. That's the word. Yes, not too formal. It's got to be a little bit more casual, and then it's got to be conversational. That's another thing, because we come from email is very one-sided. So whenever we go into chat and we become one-sided, and you can see it in the chat when somebody answers something, if you are conversational, you would reply and react to that thing first. Say, oh, that's interesting, and then only go to the next topic, right?
Mm.
The mistake is when somebody answers you ask a question, somebody answers something, and then you ask another question. That is very robotic and very like email and very like old school, right? It's got to be, you wouldn't do that to a friend. Sometimes I'm wearing a red hat. You don't go say, oh, baju pula. No, a nice hat. Yeah, where'd you get the hat? Cool. And then baru the next thing, then the next thing. So that's the second one. And then that thing is called lubricating. So you got to lubricate the conversation when it comes to chats. And another thing about chats is, what's the question again? What do you want to know about chats? What's the advantage?
Yeah, how do you stand out? How do you stand? Because I receive a
Stand
lot
out,
of chat messaging every day. Yeah. What's the secret for this?
Yes, and how to stand out is it's got to be constant, right? It cannot be a
There you
one-off
go.
thing. So you gotta have something that is consistent. So it's like an everyday thing or every other day thing. The challenge with that is if you don't have somebody who's dedicated to chat, then it becomes I'll do it once a week lah. So the conversation is once a week, and that it doesn't work. Chat is got to be constant, right? So I answer, maybe an hour later you answer, then an hour later you answer. So it cannot be too many days. So the challenge with that, I understand, is because there's too many channels, and then you don't have a team member who knows how to do, and you don't have a team member who knows what to say, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
where when we talk about the process in the beginning too. So you need all these things first. What to say dah ready. You need the platform dah sedia, so that's easy to go in one place. And then baru your team senang want to do it every day. And you need to have one dedicated person to constantly, and all they do is this, right?
Mm.
So it might not be nak jual right away. It could be an SDR, a sales development rep. All they do is um schedule your live demo or something, or schedule Zoom, right? So all the kerja dia schedule aja. And then bila schedule, then only you sell through there. But yeah, but it's got to be constant. It cannot be on and off. Tak jadi.
Right.
Common
Nice.
denominator, consistency. Over to you, Adelina.
Yeah. What
Okay.
do you do? Come on.
I think I just like to add a little bit to that conversation, right, to that topic. I think basically for what I've been listening for the past 45 minutes is is the, the importance of messaging and the replying. Like, we go on Shopee, there's a chat response time, right? So a lot of times we'll go into that because sometimes we want to know urgently, okay, what certain things, like maybe the shipping or the product itself, or maybe the warranty or whatever it is, right? So we want to see, oh, okay, this one responds very quickly. uh, so it plays a part in our business, and in as a brand, also as a personal brand. People want to see brands that are responsive. You don't want to message someone and wait a week for them to respond, right? So the moment we see, on Facebook, response within a few minutes, and you're like, all right, I like this, I'm gonna get a response, because people are not gonna wait for you in chat. Just like when we go on WhatsApp or anything, we don't, sometimes when it's urgently, something that is, the where the time is, it's time sensitive, right? And this is the moment where you're deciding whether to say yes to the sale or to move on to the next person who's going to respond to you, right? And
Exactly.
that is where this whole messaging, the topic today is going. And what Kale has been saying is also about the team and the tool, the platform that we have, where when you have this omni-channel platform, you have everything consolidated, you have your team, and you can that internal dialogue with your team without having to call or email them. Hey, I have an inquiry from this so and so, can you, what should I do? So it's not going to come tomorrow or the next day, but because it's within the platform, they get a notification. So all of this just, like Khalif said, lubricates the process of messaging and responding to your customer. And this saves time. And also, just like what we've heard throughout this conversation is, as the founder, as the CEO, you are the business owner. You have to think about running the business, strategizing for the business, hiring people to help you with the business, promoting, marketing, all of these things. And if messaging is going to take half a day, every single day, this is no longer an efficient way to do messaging for your personal brand and your business brand, right?
Yeah, and
Um, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
and you want
So,
to set it up so that it's easy for your team member to do it, right? Easy, set it up so it's easy, so that even if they leave, you can have another person train them for a couple of days and do the exact same job. So you make it easy, and there are levels to it. Here's the first level that we're talking about just now is consistency. Make it easy so that even though if you're answering within 2 hours, 3 hours, if you're consistent at that time, it's fine. It's fine. But if you say, okay, to answer Amin's another question. Okay, if everyone now is answering in 2 3 hours, what else can you do to stand out? The next one and the biggest one is speed, right? If there's nothing else that you do, and you're already consistent, if you want to increase customer satisfaction, it is just to reply fast. There was this company, I think Zendesk, did a survey, 40,000 people that they surveyed, and the top two answers. The question was, what's the one thing that when it comes to customer support, chatting, that a company can do to be better, right? And number one is solve my problem fast. Number two is reply fast. So they're saying that at least if there's one thing that you can do to make me happy as a customer is please solve my problem fast. Even if you cannot solve my problem fast, at least reply fast. And so that means if there's anything that your team or you can do to be above head and shoulders than other people is reply fast. And that's all what we at YesHello try to do, because we know 80/20 rule. If you reply fast, a lot of other problems that's happening with your customer complaining lah, leaving lah, or it will disappear. Suddenly there's no problem because they are like so happy. Oh, so fast, even though it doesn't matter whatever happens. So fast, they're fast. Just go chat with them, they're fast.
yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
uh, sorry, go ahead, Adelina. Go ahead,
Oh,
please.
yeah. And I just wanted to touch on a little bit on when we talked about messaging earlier. We talked about the brand messaging, and when we have like a team, right? Where like Khalif said, okay, we can train the team. Is like when we solidify our brand message, which we spoke about in a previous episode, our brand messaging. Once we have solidified that in our within our brand, it's easy to repeat it and have it be that brand voice. So it can be, you know, five different people answering the question, but it will still reflect what the brand is about. What it doesn't have to be the CEO replying, just like in what Nini said, Nini work phone. So it could be many other people replying under that banner of Nini work phone, but it will still sound like Nini, for instance. And that when we have a team and have that tool and platform, it makes it so much easier. And Khalid mentioned templates. So you can have templates, so it's always going to be consistent. It's a consistent voice, consistent brand essence that keeps on going out. It's not going to be suddenly this is Sandra, this is Kevin, or that kind of thing. It will be
Yeah, yeah.
whoever your brand is.
Yeah. So
Right.
you solve those problems of being fast and being ahead from your competitors as one. But if you do it right, you're also setting yourself up for later when the team grows, right? That's what you're saying, because you're setting up a process. So here's how I see business. Business, you can either solve problems using process, or you can hire a person, or you can create a project and try to solve it, or you put in some policies. Right? There's not only four ways of solving issues in a business. So if you don't have enough to hire a person, process is the cheapest way to build once and benefit from it forever, right?
Mm.
So if you make this process, it has to be it can be super simple. So we make it super simple.
You can
Make it
sell even your
one,
process.
two,
Oh my
three,
God.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then this process that cantik, you can take this process, you just put in a lab of a team member, they can just duplicate it again and again. So you get this benefit ROI forever, right? And we're
Right.
talking about in the beginning. Imagine talking about the beginning. If you're running a business, all your processes in all the other departments cantik already. What is the one thing, the one department that is not yet? This modern customer service, modern chatting is the process part where most SMEs have not yet pinned down. So it's always a constant headache. And imagine if you could
Mm.
just do it in a few days and solve it. Why wouldn't you?
I guess
Kan?
you know what I want to highlight this what Hanif said here kan. I am terrible at responding to messages, definitely hard to keep up with so many channels. I totally understand you, bro. I'm one of those people. I'm
Saya
like,
faham. Saya
yeah,
pun faham.
level ultra terrible.
Saya pun
Level
faham.
ultra terrible. So
If you see Nini's
really,
little red little red badge
yes.
for WhatsApp.
Oh my God, right? I am, like I say, ultra terrible at this, kan? So kalau
Dah
ada
lah
level Ultraman,
nak
I'm
kena
level
label
Ultraman,
semua orang, nak kena archive.
kan?
Oh,
Ni
I don't even do that. I don't even do that. I
okay.
mean, I don't even do that. Okay, I don't have the time to categorize whatever you call it, kan? I don't have time to do that. Nak delete, nak reply pun tak buat, right? So I guess what was bad about this is that is my personal branding. Nini is ultra terrible at replying to messages, email, name it, whatever platform, kan? So it's for me to just look at this as a feedback, right? What am I able to do about it? What am I able to do about it? And the awesome thing about now, the zaman now, the era now is that there are many tools that we are able to use to help us with this. And yeah, different tools, right? There's Instagram, there's Telegram, there's omni-channel lah kan, meaning multiple platforms. So look for tools, and it's not even expensive, right? If you can hire just one person to look at all your omni-channels messaging, or if you are a solopreneur building your personal brand, this is super necessary, kan? Because you can schedule messages, what? You can schedule,
Yeah.
right? You can schedule your replies, right? You can do that. So I am suggesting, if you would like to shift your personal brand from ultra terrible at messaging response to getting better, right? Belum lagi to the stage of very responsive, that is what people are striving for, kan? Very responsive, ataupun it contributes to your 5 star on your SEO on Google, kan? Then at least getting better at responding. Kalau
And then
dulu 1 month
there's a,
that don't reply, or at least now 1 week already reply.
yeah, and a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture for if you're an entrepreneur or business leader and your company is already doing well. What happens when you solve this one biggest bottleneck in your business is you free up your stress level. There's no more stress, that thing behind your mind that, dah jawab belum? Have we answered that belum? Right? None of that. And then imagine, so if you don't have that, one of the biggest stress level is gone, what kind of person that we can be, right? You get extra 2-3 hours a day. Now we can take the extra 2-3 hours without any stress and focus on the highest priority things in your business. Well, you can now raise funds, you can now create partnerships. Suddenly you become the type of a leader that is so chill. Wow, you want to go coffee? You can go coffee. He's never like, selalu busy, selalu sibuk, selalu sibuk. A business leader that selalu sibuk doesn't have any processes. That's why. That's what I learned. Many years hustling. It's because we got no money to hire. But a business or a business leader that is already successful, they have the time because they've already solved the biggest bottleneck. And most of the time, the biggest bottleneck is me. I am the biggest bottleneck. You, the leader, is the biggest bottleneck. And if you're still the biggest bottleneck when it comes to messaging, imagine what type of leader you build, what type of business you can build if you are so chill and people see you. Wow, you're so cool. How did you become so cool and chill like that? I want to be just like that. Processes, right? Solve that biggest bottleneck. Cool.
Okay. We are
Yeah.
almost at the end of the time.
Yeah. I was
Okay.
looking at it. I was looking
Yeah,
at it.
so
58 minutes.
exactly. So I just want to do a quick shout out for those of you who wants to connect with Carliff, right? You can go to the website YesHello.com. And I also want to talk about Carliff punya
YesHello.chat lah. Tak ada YesHello.chat.com. YesHello.chat.
YesHello. YesHello. Sorry, my bad.
Someone already purchased YesHello.com. So like, it's okay. YesHello.chat is fine. Or
Yeah.
go to YouTube.
YouTube channel, right?
We have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, this is the one. So you want to talk a little bit about your YouTube channel? So what are you doing here?
Yes. So so I put on our manifestos. So we have what I mentioned just now, the 3 biggest challenges, which is the right tools, motivated team, and team collaboration. So all those are our processes that we help ourselves and our customers to solve this problem of bottleneck and modern messaging. So if you do those 3 things, it will solve 80% of your problem. So what we did was we broke it down. So in each one of those things, there are 3 tasks or activities that you can do. Is a to-do list. So we broke it down and I put it inside here as a tutorial. I also share some worksheets and workbooks so that you can figure out what channels for you, how to install how to install gamification inside your company, what kind of reporting. We give you templates, we give you suggestions on how to do it. And then when it comes to team collaboration, what is the process? How do you assign to this person? So everything is there. We give it so that you can build your own modern customer service team. And if you need some help and need some coaching, that's where we come in. Right? Sekali, I don't know how to run this gamification for my team lah. Then we can come in and coach you and help you with stuff, right? Obviously, we also have the software. If you say, Carliff, I don't want to go out and look for whatever software. Well, we already have the software. We include it together so that it's very very easy for you to implement. So that's what the YouTube channel is for.
There you go. All right. So Final word from everyone. Just go one round. Nini, your biggest lesson of today, biggest takeaway. What would that be for you?
My biggest lesson for today is that I guess I shared it just now, right? So it is very, very important, right, for people like me who is ultra terrible at responding to messages, emails. Uh, it takes a lot from me, right? Find a way, find a way how to do it. Tech is awesome. There are many platforms that you are able to explore out there, including YesHello, www.yeshello.chat. I am using YesHello myself, so it is not because that it is YesHello belongs to my husband that I am promoting it, but I am using it myself. I know how it have taken me out of my company's or my business bottleneck, and I have my business partner here with me, so I can't lie, right? And how it is very valuable, right, for my connection to constantly receive my voice of messaging, but I don't need to do it myself. That's
Mm.
gila cool, man. That's gila cool. So tech can do that. So yeah, over to you, Adelina.
All right. My learning for today is the importance of solidifying your brand essence, your brand messaging, so that it doesn't matter what tool you go out and use, with a strong foundation on who you are. You understand your brand, you understand your customer, you know which channel to choose. So even if it's omni-channel, so you know which channels to choose and use within that platform. So even though you like what Khalif said, you look at the big brands, they maybe have 5 channels. You may not need 5 channels, or you may need different 5 channels. So it's all up to understanding the audience, your avatar, understanding your brand message, and having the process, so that that brand message will be consistent throughout. Doesn't matter who's saying it. Like what Nini said,
Mm.
it's her voice, but she's not sending the message, but it still sounds like her. So I think that's really important, especially when we're expanding, scaling the brand. So now we're talking about personal branding, but at the end of the day, we want to scale, right? We want to be
Yeah.
bigger, and we can't handle everything, have a voice in everything, and this is a great foundation to start with. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that is my takeaway.
Adelina
Amin.
is called pandai, pandai, pandai.
Yes, yes, smart. You must be efficient in our messaging.
Mesti pakai otak. Mesti pakai otak.
But my takeaway for today is when I kind of like have like a reassurance to know that whatever I'm doing right now is on track. That's good, right? But thank you for reminding me on speed, Khalif, because I think that was really important. When it comes to personal branding, right? You can have like the best brand in the world and all that, but then when customer comes to you and wanted to ask for something, and then you would take like more than 1 week to reply back, guys, that's a bad impression to make. So yeah, speed matters. Utilize technology, utilize tools if it's available. Like for me personally, right now I have like 2, 3 phones I'm handling right now. You guys have no idea. I have
Wow.
like chats on WhatsApp, company page, Facebook, LinkedIn. So I get where Dini is coming from as well. So I understand the pain and pressure. Yeah, get help. If you need help, you need to talk to someone, go to Carliff, right? Yeah, find out more about his system and also the way and how he helped the other entrepreneurs as well. So with that, uh, we are way past our time. Thank you again for tuning in this week. All right. Next week we have something exciting that's already been planned out for you guys. So with that, we'll see you again next week. Goodbye, guys. Have a great
Thank
day.
Bye.
you,
Bye,
everyone. Thank you,
everyone.
Khalif. Thank you for
Thanks for
watching.
Thanks,
watching.
Amin.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Lina.